Baruch Ata Ashra Anat Melecha Ha'olam Asher Kedishanu Mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lehi L'tzitzit. Good morning, Queen. How are you? I'm doing great. What are you up to today? Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta et Anat Elohecha ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך וחיות הדברים האלה אשר נוחים מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך ובדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתכם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. It's 1:29 a.m. on a Friday. Gosh. See here, it's 10:29 on Thursday. How could you be so far ahead of me? It's astonishing. Well, I hope you get a good night rest soon. You're in Australia, right? Good morning, Tabitha. How are you doing today? What is your mental landscape like? Is it comfortable? Australia. Is all of Australia in one time zone? Or are there 2 or 3? V'chaya. כי וחיו אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאבותיך לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת ופירות הצבים אשר לא עשית כערים וזיתים אשר נטעת והלכת ושבת הישמר לך פן תשכח את יהוה אשר תישך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. Then do the mountainsides tremble and the oceans rise up, and turn their gaze to the peak where your sword blade gleams, while the citadel set upon the flat land topples to the ground. That's not the translation. It's a non sequitur. But similar in theme. So we're reading from the book Era and Isham, the story of Era and Isham, about an apocalypse nearly averted. Or perhaps will be averted. We shall see. era is threatening to destroy the world. Sometimes it's okay not to be okay. Just stay there. Have the best day you can. Good morning. How are you doing, Dalton? What prompts you to say this thing? It's true. Often it's okay not to be okay. We are all struggling. We are all surviving. And ideally, it can be full of joy. Full 17 plus and on the other side of the international date line. Every day to spread light in this dim world. And what is light a metaphor there for? Clarity? Goodwill? You're going to turn on a bunch of flashlights? Make sure that a bunch of cell phone screens are displaying the same pixels? That's a way of spreading light. A certain kind of light. Highly patterned light. I try to spread light like that. Love and positivity. Encouragement. Lifting others up. Thank you, Farmer GTNZ. Appreciate the rose. That's very sweet of you. Isham raised his voice to be heard, speaking to the warlord Era, saying, "O warlord Era, you who grasp firmly the reins of heaven, hold dominion over the land and command all of the earth. You brought violence to the ocean, you encircled mountains, you are the lord over the people, and you master all the beasts. Eshara awaits your orders. Ngura is yours to command. You are the guardian of Shuana, the monarch of Isagila. You are the one who declares the rights, and all the gods honor you. You are praised by the Igigi and respected by the Anunnaki and confirmed by Elil. Can chaos be without your intervention, or any conflict break out when you yourself are not present? While the entire battle arsenal is completely at your disposal, still you think of yourself, they hold only contempt for me. Warlord Era, have you no fear for King Marduk's name?" And with that, we will conclude for the day, and we will read Tablet 4 another time. What do you do with a warring god? How do you respond to such a character? How do you conceive of him as existing in this world that you also exist in? What does it mean to have inherited story after story after story after story of war-filled gods? I don't have an answer to that question, right? Like, I have some strong suspicion that several thousand years of warfare has impacted our species with a kind of profound trauma that no other group of living organisms has ever experienced before, right? And we have to comprehend it. We have to comprehend it. So much trauma in the world. And yet somehow, the way that we comprehend it, the way that we have learned to understand such incredible forces of violence is to label them as gods. Creators, even. What a thing. I'm so happy to see you today too, Emma Jean. How are you? What are you up to today? So, now we're going to say Arati. The word Arati means flame in Sanskrit. Here we have little flame. Little flame. Sacred flame. Reminds us of what we are made of, right? The energy coursing through you and through me and through the cell phone that connects you to me and me to you. Cell phones. It's not fundamentally different than the energy that is being consumed in this candle. Of course, it's not being consumed, right? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is the same energy. It's just being transferred. Transferred in such a way that you get to see some of it. That's a sacred flame. And some of it goes in you. Some of it comes from me. Some of it comes from you and goes into me. tiny, tiny bits of photons. The photons in the letters of the words that you type. You put energy into them, they get translated and transferred and come out. Energy, same energy. Squiggles on my screen and into my eyes. It's communication. Right, I mean, to say it's the same energy is a little bit stupid, right? It's a little redundant. Like, oh, yes, there's only one kind of energy in the world. It's called energy. Everything uses it. Like, okay, like, that's so mundane as to be profound, or so, so broad as to be correct and to be meaningless at the same time. Good morning, Coven Commune. How are you? I love seeing you too, mashed potatoes, please. It's really nice to see you. Right, so we're all connected. We all run on the same fuel, right? We're all made of the same stuff. What is the middle pillar? I've not heard of that. Thank you, Emily. That's very sweet. I try to word things well. There's only one thing, right? That's really all I'm saying. In 10,000 different ways, there's only one thing, and you are it, and I am it, and we're both it. And what is that fact? You know, how does that impact you as an individual that's separate from everything else? I don't fucking know. Right? It's just like this weird paradox. But I find it comforting to know that we are all here together. Right? Simple as that. We are all here together. We all are together. We all are. Yeah. Having a hard time with alcoholism. Any tips? Oh God, I wish, mashed potatoes. It's lovely to see you. Here we are. Addiction is a nasty problem, and I have looked at it from 10,000 different perspectives. I think about it every day, every single day. You can go back in my archive. There's one video that I've made on addiction. It's called I Have an Addiction, or maybe it's just called Addiction. I have a marijuana addiction. And I don't know how to think about it. Sometimes I think it's horrific, and sometimes I think it's an incredibly useful tool. Right? Sometimes it hinders, sometimes it helps. Yeah. Good morning, Sarah. Yeah, so I've been thinking a lot about addiction lately, and I have no advice for you. I think your experience is uniquely your experience, right? And there's so many frames and ways of thinking about addiction that, like, I can't decide on a single way or frame to think about it myself, let alone the way you should think about it. Maybe I would say is that I think your body knows how to take care of itself. Your body knows what it needs. And sometimes it demands things that it needs in contradictory ways. I did not know that about you, Sarah. It's very interesting. Like, yeah, I don't think there's a simple or monolithic way that you can view your relationship with a mind-altering substance, right? Like, it can cause harm, but it can also cause benefit, and discerning the balance between the two is the task of a lifetime, right? Like, we live in a world where there's just, like, so many ways to alter yourself, and some of the ways are very seductive, and you know that being seduced is, like, a pretty critical part of being alive? Even if it means, like, a sense of loss of control. Discerning the balance, yeah. Can be very hard. Can be impossible. But as long as you are still alive, right, your body is in some sense of balance, right? Complicated homeostasis mechanisms keeping your body doing the things that the body does. Being taken by something is one of the best and worst experiences. Yeah. Yeah, so, like, this is so difficult for me to talk about. I talk about it with my therapist all the time, and even then, like, I have no idea what to say, right? Um, there's nothing like being taken by something, someone, a deity, a faith. Yeah. Yeah, so, like, the meme version of my own relationship to it that I can tell you, potatoes, is that, I mean, I've said it. I said it in that film, right? Like, my father thinks that I have a marijuana addiction. He's convinced that that is why I am trans, is because I have been so warped by the mind-altering substances that I became convinced that I was a woman. And that idea has wormed its way into my psyche in complicated ways, right? I mean, it's okay, right? Like, why are we here? Why are we here together, right? Like, it's hard to be a human. Like, I think about this question a lot. Like, how can I talk about it? Like, on the server, everybody's talking about marijuana all the time, right? Because it's an important substance, and I like sit there and I read the conversations, and I'm like, like, what can I say? Like, I smoke marijuana very frequently, and whenever I do, I have this like incredible sense of tension, right? Like it is so helpful and so valuable, and also frightens the hell out of me, right? Like, my relationship to that drug, like, deeply frightens me, because my father deeply frightens me, right? And I notice the ways that I'm taken by it, right? Or the ways that it is difficult to control, right? Or I notice the trade-offs, the good that comes with the bad, and the bad that comes with the good, and it feels very difficult to make a choice that feels unequivocally right and good. And so I make choices that feel like compromises every day. I don't know. It's hard. But I don't don't regret the difficulty. Yeah, I'm just a person with a body, just like you. Yeah, I've said as much, but like, I don't really know what else to say besides it's complicated. um, yeah, like, I posted a dream that I had yesterday in the dreams channel about like an anxiety dream I had about my father and marijuana. Um, I do and don't like it. Yeah, I do and don't like it. I think it gives me capacities that I wouldn't otherwise have, and I also think it gives me handicaps that I wouldn't otherwise have, right? And then I have to balance, like, what capacities do you want? What handicaps are you willing to endure? Right? It's the same as anything else. Do you want straight teeth? Well, it'll take 2 years, and you have to have a bunch of metal in your mouth. Like, is it worth it? I don't fucking know. Yeah. Right? Like, I am constantly making very complicated trade-offs about the chemical composition of my body. And, like, that is the framework that I have to think about it through. Like, I'm smoking a lot of marijuana right now. Next year, I won't be smoking it at all, right? Because I need to experience both states in order to have some semblance of clarity about who I am, or what it is, or what its role in my life should be, right? Like, I'm engaging in a long-term experiment, and I have mixed feelings about doing that. Yeah, fosters creativity, gives you a different look. I'm so sorry that you have to have a body. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here, right? So, like, I have a body, but, like, the me in your hand is a different kind of body. It's, like, made of light, made of light and sound, right? Like, I get to be a meme, right? I get to be not the prayer, but the prayer, you know? And, like, it's really special. You never smoked until you were 30. I started when I was 19. I am. I mean, like, that. I have so deeply wished that I didn't have a body. Right? Like, oh, I wish I could just escape into the light. Just be an idea. Right? We're all just figments of each other's imaginations. It's a teeter-totter. Yeah. You know, I don't think marijuana makes you a ditz, and I also don't think it makes you a girl. Like, it's an amplifier. It amplifies parts of your personality that were already present. And at the same time, it can be a damper. It can damp parts of your personality that are already hard to see. Right? And that can be good or bad. I don't want to pray to my maker, no, no, I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink and golden land, and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to the sun, hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, we don't want to pray. And it's not much good to talk, better to walk it. Ooh, not much good to take, better to give. We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins, and I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again. So, pardon, God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. Love Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, I made good, and Anat, Anat made bad. Elohenu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Love Allah, God made, God made, God made. But I don't want to pray to my maker. I just want to be feeling free, what I see. Not like in a book or the leaves of trees that shook from a word that means only not a thing. Hashem. Pardon. God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. I love Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, I made good, and Anat, Anat made bad. Elohenu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made, God made, God made me. You know, Sarah, I am a fantastic actor with a great makeup department, and it is a long role. I think that is all just completely true. Right? God made me, I made me, right? I perform myself for you. That's quite literally what I do. That's why I do this every day, right? Like I've said it before, right? Like there is a person that I want to be, and I can be her here. Like I can be her when you all are here, right? I can play a certain role that doesn't exist without you, right? Like I'm not a single being. I'm not a single kind of thing, right? Like I'm a constant process of becoming, and when I sing to you, like I can be, I don't know, not a prayer but a prayer, right? It can be dots of light in your palm, right? Transcend these various tensions. What is addiction? How bad is my addiction? I don't know. I get to be myself. I mean, yes, I get to be myself. I get to be a version of myself, a particularly, like, social, performative version, right? I get to be, what did you say? You just said it. A fantastic actor with a great makeup department and playing a long role, right? Like, I get to put on makeup every day. I wouldn't be putting on makeup every day if I wasn't hanging out with you all, right? Like, you make me different. And that's really cool. Right? Like, we get to make one another. Aren't we all, though? Yes. Yes, indeed. So let's say Arati. Sacred Flame. I gave an introduction to the Arati, and then I decided to sing a different prayer, because you got me distracted. But Arati goes like this. Jaya Jaya Arati Avina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jayartiya Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jayartiya Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jayarti Venkantaramana Venkantaramana Sangatarana Sitarama Radhe Shama Jaya Jayarti Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jayarti Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jayarati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jayarati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimutriya Vatara Jaya Jayarti Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jayarti Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jayarti Sankarachaya Sankarachaya Advaita Guravi Jaya Jayarti Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jayarti Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jayarti Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jayarti Ayapa Samine Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jayarti Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jayarti Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Grubho Namaha Jaya Jayarti Venugopala Natatrasya Bhati Natandrakara Tam Nimavidyo Bhati Kutoya Magni Tomeva Bantamadvandi Sarvam Tasya Basya Samidam Vivanti Om Gange Kavyamane Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Siddhikaveri Hiya Namastitam Namo Namaha Jaya Jayarti. Good morning, Sadhvijan. Welcome. Om Namah Shivaya. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandusha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Javinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasendriya Herva Buddhyatmanava Prakriti Sabhavad Karomi Adyad Sakalam Prasmahe Narayana Iti Sarmar Payami Sarvajamam Pavichayam Amikam Savanam Praja Aham Sva Savapapayo Mukshayami Masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you, including translating the prayer like that instead of some other way that might be more linguistically correct. Say what you mean, not what it says. Express your genes however you choose to express them. Interpret them as you will. Become who you wish to be. Like an actor on a lifelong stage. Thank you, friends. We have one more prayer. One more prayer. That's Kaddish. So the word Kaddish means holy. Quite literally set apart. Thanks for all you do. A ghost is a ghost. Thanks for all you do. Set apart. Holiness is to be set apart, right? You separate the sacred from the profane, and in so doing you create both of them. You cannot have the sacred without the profane, right? You cannot have the holy without the regular, the everyday, the ordinary. But they loop around, right? How many of you have heard someone asserting that what is sacred is everyday life, right? That the ordinary is holy. And that's the paradox of it, right? Like, you create these categories, you set these definitions apart, and then you insist that they are one. Because that's what God is. So, we say Kaddish, a prayer about holiness, about those who are parted from us, right? About our grief and sense of suffering and loss. And we say it together to remind ourselves that even though to live is to suffer and to be stripped of all that we care for, to care is to have the capacity to lose what you care for, right? Nonetheless, we can say these words together and be connected anyway. We are. We are because we are. We're here because we're here. So, for the last 2,500 years, give or take a few hundred, a few thousand, in some language, maybe Hebrew, maybe Aramaic, maybe something else, my ancestors have been saying words like this in response to suffering like mine that they also felt. They go like this. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shema Rabbah. B'yama divrachyote v'yamlich malchute b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayedikol be'Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kariv v'yamru amen yehi Shema Rabbah meva'arch li'olam almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yirmam v'yitaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shema d'kudesha baruchu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tush birchata v'nechemata diamiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imramav huya aseh shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imramav huya aseh shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru v'imru amen. Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks, hey, thanks. Hey, wow, hey, thanks. I'm so grateful. I get to do this with you every day. Holy moly. Thank you. Thank you. So, if you haven't already, you should check out the Discord server. It's important. Will posted a question, or a definition of prayer, which had to do with sin, unsurprisingly. And I was hoping that he would be here so we could talk about it, but he's not here. But you could join the Discord server, and you could chime in. What do you think prayer is? Why do we pray? It's an important question. Yeah, go post your weird art in there. So there's a link in my bio. It'll lead you to the Discord server. It'll also lead you to some ways of supporting the stream. Patreon, TikTok subscriptions, sending me little flower gifts. You know, lots of ways to do it. Where the hell is he today? Probably living his life. Probably doing something real important. I will see you here tomorrow. Say these words once more. And until then, I hope you have a lovely day. Make some good art, okay? I'll see you soon.